Welcome to Indoor Plant Science channel. Many people ask, what potting mix should I use for my plant? But that's actually the wrong question. The better question is, what kind of root environment does my plant need? Because once you understand that, you can build the right growing medium for almost any indoor plant. In today's video, I will show you how I adjust the same base mix from part 1 for 3 popular household plants, Fiddle Leaf Fig, Pothos, and Aglaonema. And once you understand the logic behind these examples, you will be able to apply the same principles for dozens of other indoor plants. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I highly recommend checking it out after this video. In that episode, we covered how to identify high-quality coco coir, choose the right ingredient, and build the professional base mix we are using today. You will find the link above and in the description below. Before we start, there is one important thing I would like to mention. Many people grow indoor plants because they want healthier and more attractive living spaces. Plants like Pothos, Aglaonema, peace lily, snake plant, and many palms are often promoted as air-purifying plants. But something people rarely think about is the growing medium itself. A poor quality substrate can contain contaminants, unpleasant odors, excess salts, decomposing organic matter, and even fungus gnat eggs. That's one reason I prefer high-quality coco-based substrates. Now let's talk about the key concept behind today's video. The good news is that you don't need a different potting mix for every plant. You simply need to understand how much moisture the plant likes, how much oxygen its root needs, and how quickly excess water should drain away. As a starting point, I will be using the same base mix for part 1, 50% coco coir, 30% pumice, it's optional, and 20% perlite. And if pumice is difficult to find where you live, don't worry. A simple coco coir and perlite mix can still produce excellent results for most indoor plants. I have included links to the products I personally recommend in the description below. The simplest rule to remember is this: more coco coir means more moisture retention. More perlite means faster drainage and better root aeration. Once you understand that principle, customizing a growing medium becomes very simple. So let's start with one of the most popular indoor plants in the world, the Fiddle Leaf Fig. Fiddle Leaf Fig has developed a reputation for being difficult to grow, but in many cases the problem isn't the plant. It's the growing medium. One of the biggest mistakes people make is keeping the root zone wet for too long. Fiddle Leaf Fig like moisture, but they also need oxygen around their root. If the growing medium remains saturated, root becomes stressed, growth slows down, and eventually root problems begin to develop. That's why I like increasing drainage compared to the base mix. For Fiddle Leaf Fig, my preferred recipe is 45% coco coir, 25% pumice optional, 30% perlite. If you don't have a pumice, I recommend 65% coco coir and 35% perlite. This creates a lighter, airier growing medium that allows water to move through the container more efficiently. Notice what we are doing here. We are not changing everything. We are simply increasing the percentage of the perlite. That small adjustment creates more air pockets and helps reduce the risk of overwatering. This is especially useful for indoor growers because most Fiddle Leaf Fig are grown in decorative containers inside homes where drying rates are slower than outdoors. If you are someone who tends to water a little too often, increasing perlite can make a significant difference. The goal isn't to dry the plant out. The goal is to keep oxygen available around the roots. Now let's move on to pothos. Pothos is one of the easiest and most adaptable household plants available. That's one reason it's found in homes, offices, shopping centers, and commercial interiors around the world. Pothos can tolerate a surprisingly wide range of growing conditions. Because of the flexibility, I generally stay very close to the base mix. My preferred recipe is 50% coco coir, 30% pumice, optional, 20% perlite, or without pumice, 70% coco coir, 30% perlite. This combination provides a very balanced root environment. Pothos appreciates consistent moisture but also benefits from good drainage. It doesn't want to remain consistently wet, but it also doesn't enjoy drying completely for long periods. For most growers, this balanced mix performs extremely well. If your home is particularly dry, you can increase the coco coir slightly. If you live in a humid climate or tend to water frequently, increasing perlite slightly may help. The beauty of understanding root environments is that you can make this small adjustment with confidence. Instead of memorizing dozens of recipes, you are learning the principles behind them. And once you understand the principles, everything becomes easier. If you are enjoying the video so far, please take a second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the channel and allow me to continue creating science-based indoor plant content like this. Now let's look at Aglaonema. Aglaonema naturally grows in a tropical environments where moisture level remain relatively consistent. Unlike Fiddle Leaf Fig, Aglaonema generally prefers the root zone to stay moist for a little longer. That doesn't mean wet, it simply means more moisture retention. For the reason, I increase the percentage of coco coir. Preferred recipe is 60% coco coir, 25% pumice optional, and 15% perlite, or without pumice, 80% coco coir and 20% perlite. This provides a growing medium that retains moisture longer while still providing adequate oxygen around the roots. Again, notice how we are following the same simple principle. Plants that appreciate more moisture receive more coco coir. Plants that prefer faster drainage receive more perlite. The logic stays exactly the same. Once you understand this concept, you can apply it to almost any indoor plant. Peace lily increase moisture retention slightly. A snake plant increase drainage significantly. ZZ plant increase drainage. Kentia Palm stay closer to the balanced base mix. You don't need a completely different recipe for every plant. You simply adjust the balance. Before we finish, I want to revisit pumice for a moment. I personally like pumice because it improves long-term structure, increases drainage, and resists compaction over time. But a properly balanced coco coir and perlite mix can successfully grow the vast majority of common indoor plants. So if pumice is difficult to find or expensive in your area, don't let that stop you. Start with the quality coco coir and quality perlite. Adjust the ratio according to the plant's needs, and you will already be far ahead of most commercially available potting mix. So let's finish with the most important takeaway from today's video. More coco coir equals more moisture retention. More perlite equals faster drainage and greater root aeration. Stay close to the base recipe for plants with the average water requirements. Increase coco coir for moisture-loving plants. Increase perlite for plants that prefer sharper drainage. That's the framework I use when building growing media for indoor plants. And once you understand that framework, you will be able to customize a substrate for almost any species. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't watched part 1 yet, make sure you check it out after this video because it explains the foundation behind everything we have discussed today. In future video, we will continue exploring indoor plant care, air purifying plants, growing media, and species-specific recommendations for many more household plants. Enjoy!